Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's Creators Talk. Most creators don't quit because they lack talent. They quit because they never stay consistent long enough to see what their talent can become. Tonight, we're talking about the plague of inconsistency, why it quietly destroys momentum, and what creators must do to keep showing up when the excitement fades and the results are slow. Welcome to Creators Talk, staying the course. And I have some great cool creators that I want to bring on the show as always. We got Mr. Charleton Lewis. How are you tonight, sir?
What's going on, sir? Thank you for having me.
Good to have you always, always, always. And we got Jay Reece.
What's going on, sir? How's it going?
Doing good, sir. We beginning to wonder if that J stands for Jordan. But hey,
Yes, sir.
welcome, gentlemen. Welcome tonight. I want to welcome everybody that's here tonight. Thank y'all for being here tonight. Listen, we got some good info, some good stuff, nuggets to talk about tonight. Because this is, I deal with this a lot. So we talking about being consistent and inconsistency on tonight. So if this is you, you definitely need to be in this conversation. And again, I want to thank Charleton and Jeremy for being here tonight. I want to thank you all here tonight. Listen, if you're watching, go ahead and like this video. Also, if you have comments, put them in the chat. If you got questions, put them in the chat. If you got some tips about being consistent and inconsistent, put that in the chat because we would love to hear from you as well, because I'll be the first one to tell you I don't know it all. I'm still learning, still growing. So, but that's what this conversation is all about. Just building the community and sharing knowledge. So, gentlemen, let's talk about it. Consistency and inconsistency. We have some videos, of course, that we're gonna kind of watch, and then we'll talk about it. So let's go ahead and jump into some videos. What do y'all think?
Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. So the first one we got up is Mr. Brock Johnson. We shared this one last time. A video from Brock Johnson. Great creator, great information, great knowledge, of course, that he shares. And I kind of tried to put the subject matter of what he talks about on here, Brock Johnson. And he talks about how much have you posted. So I'm going to play this video. It's about a minute or so long. And I'm gonna play it, and we'll just react to it and have some comments and share some knowledge and our thoughts on it. So let's play Mr. Brock Johnson, and let me know if you can't hear it. I believe you should be able to hear it.
A business owner has under 5,000 followers and they're about to give up on content completely. What would you say to them?
I'd say, how much have you posted? Because my guess is they have less than 5,000 followers. They've posted less than 200 times, is my guess.
Okay.
There's a direct correlation, at least on Instagram, on many other platforms as well, but I specifically can speak on Instagram. That's my jam, between post rate and growth rate. The more you post, the more you grow. And so if you're at 5,000 followers, my guess is you haven't posted that often. My guess is that you have just kind of like dabbled here and there. You haven't ever had a strategy or a plan. You've never stayed consistent. You've had months where you've had bursts, and then you followed that up with a month of burnout, and then you had a month of vacation, and then you came back for a month, and then you had an agency for 3 months, then you tried to do it yourself in-house for 2 months, and then you burnt out. And I think that lack of consistency and just that lack of volume period is why they haven't grown. And there are rare exceptions where someone will come to me and they'll be like, Brock, I can't grow. I've posted so much, and they've posted 1,400 times and they have less than 5,000 followers. Then I'm asking, are you not improving anything from post to post? Like, are you just posting things from your camera roll? Are you just like not even thinking? And yes, there's a certain degree of just press post and don't overthink it, but we still got to learn from our posts a little bit. Like, we got to think about the psychology a little bit before we press post. But if you can just like improve 1% from one post to the other, within 100 posts, you're night and day so much farther ahead of where you were before. that it would be
Did I get all of that? I think that was all of it. Was that all of it? Did he have more to share on that?
I think there was a little bit
Uh,
after it.
There's a
I may
little
have,
bit, yeah.
I may have
Yeah.
cut that off, but I think we got the gist of
Yeah.
what he was saying. So he asked the question, how much how much have you posted? What do y'all think about that? Is that true that somebody that maybe is not getting the response, I guess, that they think from the algorithm, they haven't posted enough? What do y'all think about that?
So I definitely would say for Instagram, there's a direct correlation between the amount of reels or content that you post to growth, because from the same guy and some other gurus, there's some little hacks that you can use when it comes to Instagram, and I've kind of been leaning in heavily into it the past like week or two, and I've definitely seen growth. And one of those hacks is whenever you shoot content, you can maybe change up the beginning just slightly a little bit and do several versions of it. And that way you have three different chances for that reel to get seen. So same concept, but three different versions. So now you have three reels to reach more people. And so what I've been doing lately is Instagram has something called trial reels. So what I'll do is I'll upload one version and I'll duplicate it and I'll upload a trial reel version of it. So now I have two versions of the same video. One is posted regular, one is posted in trial reels. Trial reels only go to non-followers. None of your followers see those. So now I have two videos out there, the same video, but it's getting more reach because I've posted it twice. And then let's add on to that. You got like two other versions you shot. You post those as trial reels as well, so that your current followers don't see the same thing. They're like, oh, I saw this already. Those two new trial reels are going to be shown to all new non-followers. So now you have essentially 3 to 4 videos posted and you're reaching more people. And I did that with a couple of my videos, and I've gained like 200 and something followers over the last week or two. That's a lot for me when I wasn't hardly getting any. So just by posting more like that, I've seen the growth, at least on Instagram.
So when you say trial reels, can you
Yeah.
flesh that out a little bit? What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so a trial reel is how they made it. They made it so that you're not like pressured to show it to your followers. Maybe some people, they may use it as a test. Maybe it's something different from their niche. They don't want their followers to, so they might test it. What that does is when you're uploading it, you'll see a little icon and you can toggle it on or off next to trial reels. And what happens is when you select that or toggle it on, your followers don't see that on your page at all. It only gets shown to people who don't follow you. So that's essentially a way to test the same concept in different, versions or ways to see which one resonates the most. Or you can test something completely different from what you normally post to see how non-followers will react. And you do have the option. So let's say you posted it as a trial reel and it starts getting traction. You can say, okay, well, this is working. Now I'll show it to my followers as well. There's an option to go ahead and post it to your page. And now everybody is seeing it, non-followers and the people that's following you.
So this is something that's on Instagram, maybe versus Facebook or YouTube or something
Right.
like that. Okay.
Does it? Yeah, I've never heard of that. Does it? Do you only get that feature based off of the followers you have, or is it available to everybody?
So I've heard different parameters that have to be met. If you listen to Brock Johnson. He mentions you have to have 1,000 followers to do it, but
Hmm.
it became available to me when I had 200 followers. So I don't know if it's account specific or
Okay.
not, but it became available to my page once I reached 200 followers.
Hmm. Okay. I had never heard of that. So it's a trial reel
Me neither.
and a
Yeah.
trial reel and a I guess your regular reel. So you just have to toggle it to let them know that. I guess that's weird because it's like that's the same video, but I guess if you distinguish it as a trial reel, it shows up differently.
Yeah, so when you distinguish it as a trial reel, your followers don't see it. If you go to your Instagram page, it's not going to show in any of your videos on the main grid or the real grid because it's not meant to be shown initially to your followers. It's only shown to people who don't follow you, and that's what you want to grow. You want your content to be shown to more non-followers so they can start following you. So whenever you post regularly to Instagram, it basically tests a portion of the video to people who follow you and non-follow. So it's like a mixture. Depending on how your followers react, then it begins to show that content to a larger audience. Well, sometimes, for some reason, you have different people that follow you for different reasons. So it might be shown to some of your followers and they just say, and they feel wipe off on it. But now your video is being signaled like it's not good. But
Hmm.
if you post different versions as a trial reel, and maybe you don't want to, overwhelm your followers and it's just showing it to people who don't follow you, now you're getting more reach, and that's a way to grow.
So I guess my question is, does it stay as a trial reel indefinitely, or after some period of time, it switches
It'll
over?
it'll stay indefinitely unless you do two things. Either you toggle the option on. There's an option when you're getting ready to upload it. After you toggle on trial reel to, if this reel starts doing well, then show it automatically to my followers. I think it's like within 72 hours or something like that. That's one option. The other option is you can manually do it. So as you share it to non-followers and it starts getting traction, you can go back into that reel and turn the setting on to go ahead and push it to my followers.
That's pretty dope,
Interesting.
man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Never
Yeah,
heard
and I
that.
noticed on one of my videos I shared as a trial reel, I shared it regular to my page and I shared it as a trial reel. And the trial reel is like 60,000. And the regular reel, I think it's like a couple of thousand. So it's like, I'm not touching it right now. I'm just leaving it in trial mode as it continues to do well. Now, once it gets to the point where I feel like it's stalling out, uh, then I'll go ahead and push that one to my main feed because it has a lot of views, and I may archive the one that I posted to my page that doesn't have a lot of views.
You're able to be monetized on both of these, right?
Well, this is Instagram. If you meet the Instagram parameters to be monetized, that's
Oh,
it's a big hurdle on Instagram.
I see.
gotcha.
So it's one
Yeah.
video that's uploaded, but before you post it, I guess you have to uh, set it
Yeah.
to be the trial reel, and that's what allows it to, I guess, go into the different areas. But it's just,
Yeah.
but it's just one video, but you're able to make it into two.
Correct.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
There's a lot of little hacks that are out there now. How long these hacks are available, I don't know. Because if you post the same trial reel, let's say I uploaded it regular, I uploaded it as a trial reel, and let's say I duplicated that same video, like I didn't change any one line or anything, and I duplicated that. So now I got 5 trial reels of the same video. They're gonna see that because they're like, "Whoa, wait a minute! You got 5 trial reels of the exact same video." It's gonna flag. So you don't want to do that. But if you upload one reel, duplicate it as one regular, one trial, and then you also upload different versions of maybe something you said, 2 or 3 other times as trial reels, then it's not going to get flagged.
Huh.
And I
Okay.
think the limit for most people now, I think you can do up to 5 trial reels a day.
Oh wow.
Up to 5 a day. So that's 10 videos you could probably, I mean,
Yeah.
give or take, right?
5 total. So
Oh, 5 total.
essentially, you could be at, because you can upload to your page unlimited times, right?
Right.
But
Oh, okay, I see.
in your trial, as a trial, you can only upload 5 per day.
Right. But I'm saying if I had 5 different videos, I could make each one of those a trial, right?
Yeah, you could.
And that'll be 10. So I guess you're just doubling it. But yeah, okay. Interesting. Didn't know that, Jeremy. You are helping us. So yeah, so we're talking about why creators quit too soon. And one of these plagues is consistency, which is what we're talking about, being consistent. So what about what Brock talks about, that they haven't posted enough? People haven't posted enough because a lot of people think that, man, I should be getting traction right now. But I think that's probably, he's hitting the nail on the head, that a lot of people just haven't posted enough.
I want to say something to that, because I think that it's important to define your goals. Because one thing that he said important in the video is, he said you're a business owner, and he says that you haven't grown the number of subscribers, over 5,000 within a given period of time. Well, you have to ask yourself, is your goal to even grow subscribers? Is your goal potentially, number one, to drive business to your business? You know what I'm saying? So like, let's say you have a photography business and you post reels about shooting photography, but your ultimate goal is to get clients. Does it really matter, how many subscribers you're growing? Or maybe you have products that you're trying to sell, and your goal at the end of the day is to really, again, just get clients, and you might have big ticket items. There are so many examples of content creators who have less than 1,000 followers, but have posted content online that have led to tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands in revenue for their business, even though they didn't have, thousands of followers. It doesn't really take that. With social media, you just need the right person to view your content. So you kind of just have to ask yourself, an honest question. What am I trying to accomplish here? Now, if your goal is to get lots of subscribers, well, then yeah, do the whole Moneyball game. Just as it's a contact sport. Post consistently, and that pace looks different for everybody. I think we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in this video. It might be once a week, it might be twice a week, it might be daily, it might be multiple times a day. I think it depends on the platform. I think it depends on your niche. I say post as often as you can provide substance. I don't agree with this whole cattle call thing, and like, if you're on a platform and everybody else is posting 5 times a day, but they're posting slop, I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't participate in that. But I say have an honest conversation with yourself, define your goals, and post at a pace that's appropriate to that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that is what causes a lot of people to burn out, because they're trying to keep up with other creators. They see them posting 5 times a day, and you may not be able to do that, especially starting out. And I think people get the wrong idea that I got to post this much. I agree. You should try to do what you can do. And if that's, like you said, if that's once, twice a week, do what you can do, and especially for your niche. What is your platform calling for? Looks like we lost Jeremy here. I'm not sure where he is, but
did you have any thoughts on that, man? Because I know that this is a topic that's near and dear to you.
Yeah, because
flight to volume.
Exactly. So of course I don't have 5,000 followers. I don't even have, on YouTube, I don't even have 1,000 followers. But I think creators, you can get lost in that. And I like there was a guy that I follow. His name is Walt Jeanette. He said, I think that's Jeremy. Call him back. Let me bring him back in. There he is. Hey, Jeremy. You decided to drop off. But but no, so what I was saying was that there's a guy that I was following named Walt Jeanette. and he stated that a lot of creators, they try to, they say, well, I'm going to post 5 times. I'm going to post 5 times a week. And they're not able to do that. And then they feel bad because they can't post that 5 times a week when they really didn't kind of, I guess, as Jesus said, count up the cost, or look at, first of all, what can you post? What type of niche do you have? And they didn't look at these categories, and they think that, well, if I can just post every day, which that's great. But if you can't post every day, not only that, like you state, you can't just post slop. So it needs to be something that has value. But not only that, you just want to try to be as consistent as you can and do what you can do. If you can't post 5 times a day, don't try to post 5 times a day, because I think that's gonna lead to some burnout or some expectations that are that are superseding you. So I think for me, early on, I was kind of getting lost in that, thinking that, I need to try to post, 5 times a day, or, I don't remember what the number was, but really reeling it back and taking a good perspective on that, and just posting what you can post, because that makes you feel a whole lot better that, hey, you know what? I instead of 5, maybe I can do 3 times a day, because I mean, let's face it, it's posting content is time consuming.
It is.
It's time consuming.
Just said a mouthful there.
Especially when you gotta edit videos, and I mean, we can go down a whole list of all the things you gotta do with content, right? But I need to switch, Jeremy. But yeah, it's time consuming, and I think that's the thing. So I'll let you chime in on that.
And there's one thing that he said that I kind of wanted to go back to, where he was talking about, you've posted, for a year or something like that, and you haven't grown. And he kind of said, are you posting the same thing over and over again? Have you taken the time to critique what you're posting? And I think, just really the hard lesson in all of this is that if you are posting content and people aren't grabbing it or aren't gravitating toward it, that means that you are not posting content that's resonating with your audience. So that requires you to really take the time to understand what are the needs of your audience and try to post content that matches those needs. And I feel like that is a lesson for everybody in all walks of life, not even just content creation. I mean, I heard an interview, and this is kind of random, but I heard an interview with John Mayer years ago, and he was talking about writing music, and he felt like as a musician, he was just completely, accomplished and just great at playing and writing lyrics and stuff like that. And it was a producer that he was working with that essentially told him, he's like, your audience is smarter than you are. A lot of times when you're producing things, in your mind, you're thinking, I'm going to produce something that they need. I'm going to give them what they need. It's like, but you don't really know what they need. They know what they need better than you do. And sometimes you have to take the time, your audience, so that they can gravitate towards it. So I think that's the tough medicine,
It is.
Yeah. So it's like, find out what people are interested in and post according to that, and then post that with consistency.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, sir. Totally agree with that. Let me. We got a few comments in the chat. Let's say hello to some people in the building. Let's say hello to Tasha, my wife. Hey, Tasha, how you doing? Thank you for being here.
Hey, Tasha.
Thank you for being here, Tasha. And Mr. Consistent, Michael Flemings. Sir, appreciate you being here. Good evening to you. Hamza, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. And the real Florence Donald, hello to you. She says, yes, Walt is the truth. Yeah, Walt is good. Walt Jeanette. He's doing, man, this guy was doing content creation and different things that relate to YouTube. I mean, he's got a lot of videos out there, but he kind of switched his whole niche to doing like cologne reviews. And man, this guy's got, I think he's built almost 20,000 followers, doing a whole separate YouTube channel, just doing like cologne. And that's something big now. Content creator. I guess my son is doing it. He's doing, yeah.
I'm learning.
I know. It's like, oh, okay, but yeah, that's a big thing where people, they following the creators that's talking about the nice scents and the nice colognes out there. So, but yes, man, I'm telling you, this consistency thing, I think it's huge, it's big, and it does plague a lot of creators. Oh, we got some more folks here in the chat. Let's see. We got the better half of the Just Teach Ministries, Miss Tamika. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, Tamika. She says, yes, editing is so very time consuming. Yeah, man,
It
I'm
is,
telling you.
especially when you're trying to produce reels, man.
Oh, man. I know.
I can attest to that, especially when you're trying to put like special effects in it and stuff like that to make it more entertaining and hook them. It's a lot with editing.
That's what takes the time when you start adding the titles, the music, the special effects, and all that has timing. It's something. I wish I could just be straight and not have to edit much. That's why I try to live stream as much as I can, because editing it is just not fun. But no, yes, good stuff, good stuff. All right, let's go to our next video. Our next video. All right, this is Jade Beason. I've watched quite a bit of her videos. She has some very good content as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's
an amazing creator. I mean, you should follow her, of course, because she has great stuff. So let's let's listen to what she shares here in this video.
You have to follow this hack if you want to be consistent on social media. Make content creation feel easy. And what this hack basically involves is every time you sit down to prepare for a filming session, I want you to ask yourself, what would this look like if this was easy? Now, an example might be that you're about to film a talking head reel or TikTok, and you might be ready to take out your softbox light, your ring light, and all this different stuff. And maybe you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I don't have time to set everything up. My camera battery isn't charged. My memory stick doesn't have enough space on it. And all of these barriers are coming to light, which are actually going to prevent you from sitting down and filming. When that happens, I want you to stop and ask yourself, what would this look like if this was easy? Because realistically, if that's the type of content that you're about to create, you probably could just film that on your phone. And the result of that is that you actually end up filming your content versus if you were committing to doing it the harder way, you may not have ended up filming your content at all.
wow.
Yeah. Wow.
That was 52 seconds.
Yeah, that was 52 seconds of power. It was good.
Make it easy.
Yeah. I suggested that video because it's just a reminder of consistency over perfection. I think the tendency, especially when you first start out in content creation, is that you're waiting for perfect conditions. You're waiting for the perfect gear. You're waiting for everything, for the stars to align. And it's like, the reality is, if you're just starting, first of all, just get started. Don't wait for perfection. But then also, even in week to week, if something that you normally do in your production structure is missing, just get started. Just go ahead, record. She said, if you can't get your lighting right, or maybe your camera battery's dead, or you can't locate your memory card, she's like, do whatever the simplest thing is. And I think that that's kind of a call to just always look at your process. And if you have pieces of your process that can be automated or simplified, or maybe you can outsource it to somebody else to kind of just take something off your plate to make it easier, go for the simple route. And I think that that's so important, because when we talk about being consistent, the heavy workload can sometimes be a deterrent. Like, we just had a comment that said editing is time consuming. Well, have you ever explored maybe having somebody do the editing for you? Or maybe even have one of these AI platforms do the editing for you. Just a real quick example, and I'm gonna let somebody else share. We all follow Omar Takori, and he's got a great podcast about the Video Depot, and he talked about how he was recording a podcast, and his co-host that's normally with him, who also does his editing, he was not there. He was out sick. So he had to record the podcast by himself, and he didn't get a chance to even edit it. So he said, I just sat there, I recorded it, and I uploaded it. And it was to date one of his highest viewed videos. And I just wanted to elevate that to say, sometimes we have processes in place and we're so married to the process, and in our minds we think that we've perfected it, but we don't realize, some of the flaws or some of the things that we think are mistakes actually land with people.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know. We don't really know what content we upload is going to go viral. The stuff that
True.
we think is fire, people will just pass over it, and then the stuff that we think isn't that great is the stuff that everybody will start gravitating towards. So I love what she said, man. Just simplify your process, take the easy route, and upload. Just be consistent.
Yep. Totally agree. Jay Reece.
Yeah, I agree. Some of the highest performing reels right now, and he kind of talked about that, Brock Johnson in the full video on that clip we saw earlier. Some of the highest performing reels right now are what they call yapping reels. So they're kind of similar to talking head reels, but talking head reels may be a little bit more polished. You may have a little bit more time to throw some captions on there, some transitions or whatnot. And, you have maybe like some breaks in your sentences and some jump cuts in there. But yapping reels right now are most effective because you're not really editing at all. You're just pulling out your phone, talking about a certain subject that you're passionate about or something on your mind, and just uploading it straight through. And those are actually doing really well right now. And it's low effort. And even some of the camera quality that I've seen, I'm like, me, I'm a camera guy. So like, I'm looking at the quality of my TV. I'm looking at the quality of the camera. I'm like, but they don't care. They're just uploading it as is. If it's not as high def or it's a little grainy, like they're still doing well. So sometimes we do get in our head a little bit about how everything has to be perfect, but sometimes you can just record what you need to record and upload it. And like Charleton was speaking to on Omar, it was one of his highest performing reels, and those are actually doing well right now.
Yeah, I heard that. I saw that video too about Omar and how he talked about that. He didn't edit. He just posted it. And I think all of what y'all are saying is factual. And I think sometimes we do get lost in the process. Like I gotta edit this. I gotta create these titles. I gotta create this thumbnail. And sometimes we could go against the grain and just keep it simple. Maybe trim it a little bit. Not add no music, don't worry about trying to have the plush titles and all the graphics and all the time, and just maybe upload it. Who knows? It could be one of those that goes viral. You just don't know. So I think when it comes to consistency, that's a way we can definitely trim time, especially since we all know that editing takes too much time. And Charleton, I think about you, man. You have 40 and 50-minute videos, but I think for you now, you got it down to kind of a science. Where you know where your end is going to be, you know what's going to come at the end and at the beginning, and you just worry about the middle. But doing it simple, I think, is probably the best way you can try to be more consistent. Is just keep it simple, and it could.
I would even say, like, if you make a mistake, like he talked about that too, how he made a typo on one of his reels, and because he was just trying to upload it and be done with it, he was like, the reel performed well, and he got messages saying, "Hey, did you know you made a slight typo in your word?" And he was like, "I don't care. Like sometimes it's not that deep,
Yeah.
Like even people will highlight that, and you may say, "Oh, I made a typo," but that's actually getting you more reach because people are talking about that typo. That's getting a view. So I do think sometimes we just have this perfectionist mindset when it can really be easier.
Yes.
So I kind of have a question for you guys because I was watching a video this week and it was talking about like JD Rockefeller, and it was saying one of the things that made him so successful is that he kind of detached himself emotionally from the whole business aspect of it, and it was just more or less it was just about the numbers. You know, he was trying to drive product and drive revenue, and it wasn't as much of a passion project as much as it was just doing good business. And I kind of wonder, like, do you guys ever experience over the course of being consistent that even though this is something that you are passionate about, but at times you don't really feel passionate, you're just doing it for the sake of consistency, and like, do those thoughts cross your mind, and like, how do you get over that hurdle when it's like you don't really feel it? I'm just numb, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I'll say, man, that's a good thought, good perspective. I think I'm gonna just say, I think as creators, I think we probably all go through those seasons where, you know, from the grind, it could be tiresome, it could be, you know, just grueling, and you may not be motivated that day or during this period. You know, the motivation is not there, and maybe you're just doing it because, you know, it's the normal thing that you do. You have the passion, but it's just, you know, it may not be there that day. But I think that, you know, if you are still passionate about it, I think that, you know, those things do wear off. I think about, I've heard like gym rats talk about, you know, these guys who go to the gym. I've heard them even talk about how there are some days where they don't feel it. They don't feel like going to the gym. They, you know, they're hitting it, but it's like, I'm not motivated. I don't have the motivation that day. So I think the motivation is hit or miss. You know, it's not the telltale of all of it. But if you're passionate about it, you know, I think it'll be there. And there may be times maybe you need to take a break. Maybe that's a signal or something. But no, I don't know. You know, as far as Rockefeller, I don't know how long he went through that season, but I can kind of relate to that, where, you know, it's like you're not feeling it as much, and it's like, hey, you know, I'm just doing this just to get this video uploaded because to meet my metrics or my goal this week. I don't know, Jeremy, what do you think about that?
I mean, I'm gonna piggyback on you. Like, it's hit and miss. I can relate to the gym reference because there are times where I'm just like, I don't even feel like it, but I go because I know it's gonna pay off in the end. It has health benefits, whether I feel like it or I don't. So I think that's kind of similar when it comes to creating content. Whether you feel like it or you don't, if you stay consistent, it's going to pay off in the end. I think we live in a world where everybody wants to go viral overnight and blow up like just off one video. And, you know, or maybe you post 10 videos and you feel like, wow, like I posted 10 videos. I haven't went viral or blown up yet. Like, that could kind of sap on your motivation a little bit, but everybody's success story is different. You do have those overnight sensations, you know, where they post a couple of videos and I don't know what happened. The algorithm just favored them, and, you know, it blew them up. But then you have other people who they might have to post 400-500 reels before they start to do traction, and it's hit and miss. We can't always let the lows, you know, sap the motivation to the point where we want to quit. You just got to know there's going to be peaks and valleys. So staying consistent, whether you feel like it or not, is going to pay off in the end.
Well said, Jeremy. Well said. Well said. All right, I want to get to this comment that Tasha has. I think a lot of people probably feel this way. She's talking about consistency. That's one of several problems I have. By the time I think it all out, I just say, forget it. Yeah, I think that goes to the perfection where we're trying to make it right, trying to make it perfect. So what do y'all say to that? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people can relate to that. That you know, they're trying to think it all out and trying to put a video together and it's just not working. But by the time they try to get it done, you know, I don't know, an hour done passed and it's just a 30-second video, but it happens. So what do y'all think about that?
Yeah, no, I try to use a strategy of just intentionally shortening my time. So it's like if I feel something is going to take 3 hours, I give myself an hour to do it. And I just squeeze it out in an hour, regardless of what it looks like. because we are all busy. We all work full-time jobs. We got family. We've got church obligations, and time is a precious resource. So, and I think a lot of if we cram, for lack of a better phrase, we find that we can be more productive than we realize. But just give yourself less time and push through it. I think you'll find that you're able to save time and just find ways to cut the process down. Like you mentioned, my editing process used to take a lot longer, and now it's like 10 minutes. But if it was longer than that, that would be a hurdle for me. Sometimes I may not record because I'm like, I don't feel like editing this video. You know, so I think that that's important.
Yeah, sure. Mr. Reece, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we overthink it some because we want it to be perfect, and they do a lot of comedy videos on there where I spend an hour just to get 3 views. Like sometimes it's like that for real. You will literally say, "This video is it." Like you overthink it, you polish it, you get your thoughts together, and you think this is going to be the one, and it flops. Whereas the ones that are simple, like I was talking about earlier, the yapping reels, you just say a little something and upload it. Bam, those are the ones that do the best that you don't think. So I think if you get out of overthinking and just push record and post, I think that'll kind of help with consistency as well.
Yeah. Yeah, just do it. Just push record. Don't try to make it perfect. You don't have to. Just record it and upload it. Because none of us are perfect. We all make typos, and it just happens. But you just never know. Just record it. Keep it as simple as you can, like we're saying, and just upload it. Record it and upload it. There we go. Here's the challenge. Record it and upload it. Say whatever you're going to say and upload it. And see what happens. Just never know. But yeah, it looks like Tamika says the same, that she struggles with consistency too. So how can we help our wives? We got to get, we got to get them on here. I think that's one thing. We got to get them on here
That would be great.
to calm their nerves. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Calm their nerves. Maybe we can shoot for August. We're going to try to shoot for August. So ladies, we're shooting for August. We're going to try to get you all on here. But I think about that, I know for my wife, she sees that I goes live, and it's like, I know it's a scary thought, just go live. Even just to put a camera in front of your face, for some people, is a scary thought. But I think what y'all saying is true. Just sometimes you just gotta hit record. I think, Charleton, in the interview that we had a long time ago, the first interview that I did with you, that was I think I shared that for your birthday. I think you said that, where people just gotta hit record and just go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I would say for my wife too, like she gets in those phases where she doesn't feel like it, but she'll kind of push through it sometimes just to go ahead and record. Or that might be an instance where I do one with just me and my son, or me, like my kids. Like, you're gonna have those times where you might feel like it and you might not, but a lot of times you just gotta push through it.
True. Charleton, what were you finna say?
Now, to kind of answer your question about like what are some things that we could do to help our wives. I do try to ask Tamika. I'm like, if you got a lot on your plate, it's like, is there anything I can help you with? The thing that I kind of admire about Tamika is that she takes a lot of pride in what she does. Like she enjoys the process, which I think is important to being consistent, is taking joy in the process. So sometimes I'm like, can I help you with this? Do you want me to? She's like, no, I'll do it, And I just have to kind of give her the space and the latitude. Sometimes she comes to bed a little bit late, and I tell her that I miss her because I want her to come to bed. But I guess that's what I do for her. I give her space.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I think we all just have a lot on our plates, and you just
Hmm.
have to give yourself some grace,
That part.
just be, just be consistent. You don't, you're not going to be perfect, but put it out there and move on to the next thing.
Yep. Yep. That part. I like that. Give yourself some grace because it's not gonna be perfect and we all
Yeah.
make mistakes. But once you do it and start to do it more, you'll get more comfortable. So it's just getting over that hurdle. So well said, gents. Well said. All right. So listen, we are talking about why creators quit too soon, and we're talking about consistency, which is of course one of the plagues for creators. So if you're getting some enjoyment out of this video, don't forget to like it. Also subscribe to the channel. Also, you can comment, let us know where you watch it from, and also you can put your comments down in the chat or how you overcome being more consistent or being inconsistent. So you can let us know that. All right, so we got another video to watch, and let's see. This is Life with Holly. I love this one. I think she has some another just minute, a powerful minute, but she has some great things to say. So let's see what Miss Holly has to say.
I always believe that posting consistently is one of the top things to grow your account. It may be hard to be consistent, especially if this is your side gig and you're probably working full time or this is your hobby. Here are my 3 tips on how to create a consistent schedule. First off, you need to start small. Give yourself the goal to either post 2 to 3 times a week. It can be something like posting every Tuesday and Thursdays or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and figure out which day works best for you. Obviously, if you're super busy, once a week would work too, but for results, I do see 2 to 3 times a week. Next thing you need to do is write down all your ideas on a piece of paper. Keep a log of ideas as you see inspiration, and use a social media calendar to plan out your videos. If you're looking for a free social media calendar Notion template, I do have one. All you have to do is just sign up to my newsletter. And when you are ready to commit, you are going to start batching your content. Take 1 day a week, whether it's the weekend or a weekday, and batch your video, so script, film, and edit all on the same day.
I love how her voice inflects at the end of every sentence. I don't know why that just kind of took me to say your video.
Yeah.
Just maybe now you're gonna badge.
Man, she has some good stuff to say. I like she
Oh,
said
yeah.
start out small. Start out
Yeah.
small. But no,
I'm
your
gonna let
thoughts.
somebody else go first on this one.
Okay, Jeremy, I'm gonna give you the floor. Start out small.
I would say that is very accurate. Start off small. When I first started doing the videos, I want to say I was doing 3 times a week, like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's how I started off. It wasn't something that was taxing on us at the time. And so I started off with Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And as we started to get more comfortable with it, then I was able to, record and do more because we were getting more efficient because we were in it. And now, because I built up a library of reels because I've recorded so much, I don't always have to create fresh content. That's where those reposts come in. So you want to look to at least have some new content every week. But once you get a certain number of videos out, then posting more it is less stress because I don't have to create as much new content because I already have content. And you can look back and find content that was high performing, and that's what you want to put out there as your repost. So I would definitely agree with that. I think I've heard Omar say one time, if you really want to grow your YouTube channel, start off by at least being consistent when posting one long form video once a week. If you can commit to doing at least one, then that's going to grow your account. Now, I do have to get better with the long form because I've been into the shorts, but I thought that was something like really good to say. Even I've heard Adam Mosseri say that on occasion from Instagram, that just post what you can. If that looks different for everybody. For some people, once a week is highly, effective. For some other people, they can post 3 to 5 times a week. I remember them saying there's somebody that's doing well on YouTube. They only post once a month. Now, I'm not established like that, but whoever this is, they're posting once a month, and that's doing enough for them to the point where they only have to post once a month. Now that may come with time after you establish yourself, then you can do that. But just starting off, do what you can, I would say.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I would also say, like, I know we were talking about the number of times that we post, but I would also talk about where you post and then the time of day that you post. I think with all of the platforms, the first 24 hours, the first 48 hours, the first week is very critical. And it's like whenever you post something, you want your audience or people outside your audience, whoever's going to gravitate to them, you want them to react to it pretty early on, to your posting. So I think for any platform that you're posting on, posting something at a random time like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning is not a good idea. You want to post it during a time of day where there's already traffic on that platform. So I think sometimes when we talk about posting, how many times a week, the one lever that we think that we have is frequency, but it's not always that. If you're posting twice a week and you're not getting the traction, you might want to ask yourself, well, what time of day am I posting? What days of the week am I posting? And is that the day of the week that my audience is online? Like for me, I post Bible study related stuff. So my audience tends to be online on the weekends because it's going into church, right? But for somebody else, I noticed that some people, they post on Monday evenings. They post some relationship content, and Monday evenings people are looking for that kind of entertainment, and it tends to do well. So what day of the week are you posting, and then where? Post to multiple platforms. You never know which platform is going to kind of gravitate. You might think like, oh, I'm gonna post on Instagram, but then you post stuff on TikTok too, and for some reason TikTok tends to take off for you more than Instagram. So I don't know. For whatever reason, for me, YouTube works, and I don't work anywhere else but YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
uh, and that's just what I had to work with. But at
Yep.
at one point in time, I was posting to YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, and I was just trying to figure out where the type of content that I was posting was working, and it just happened to be YouTube. So where, frequency, and what time of day. Think about all that before you start trying to do like every day or 5 times a day.
Yeah. Just maybe just posting in the wind if you do that. But yeah, no, good points. I like that she stated also about, just picking a day to batch, to create, edit, and post, which is also good. And that works out great, actually. And for me, too, I think I would say for those that may have like little kids, maybe, or maybe you got a busy house, I would say edit when your house is noisy. When your house is quiet, do your recordings. That way you can record, in silence. But I think that's key too, because a lot of times if you got a busy house, you want to wait. Sometimes people want to wait. Well, I'm going to wait till it gets quiet, and then they'll do that. So I think that works too. Just doing it that way. But batch recording or picking that day, which I love what she said. Picking that day to you just pick that day, and this is the day we're gonna edit and create, record, edit, and post it, and it works out great. And just keep it simple. But yeah, and also like you said, Charles, just finding that platform, because every platform is not the same. I've noticed that, man, I could get a whole bunch of views on Instagram, and I post that same video to YouTube, and it doesn't have the same. It doesn't get the same amount of views. So every platform is not the same. So, and then you could exhaust yourself too. I think, like Charles said, he was posting on every platform. So maybe you could just start out picking one platform and just stick with it and see how it turns out. So you could exhaust yourself trying to post to every platform, because, again, creating content is time consuming.
Yeah, I would add to what Charlton said. Like he highlighted something that is very important, like the time of day or what day of the week. And each platform has something built into it where you can see when you should post. So if you look at YouTube, of course you got YouTube Studio. It'll tell you when your audience is most active and give you kind of a window of when you should post. You have Facebook as well with I think it's called Meta Business Suite. When you go into there, and you get ready to upload, there'll be an option that says active time or best time. I can't remember the wording. And when you click on that, it's going to tell you what time it thinks you're supposed. That's one way on Facebook. Facebook also has the AI feature built into it now where you can talk to it. You just type it in the chat and say, hey, what's the best time for me to post today? It'll give you a window and tell you when you're supposed. If you say, hey, what's the best time or day of the week I should post? It'll give you that information as well. Also, YouTube, Instagram has it. I mean, they have it to where you can go and look, and it'll show you when your followers are most, engaged, and it'll tell you like a peak bar. And what Adam Mosseri said when it comes to Instagram is whatever that peak bar is, meaning the highest on that day when people are online and most active with your content, you want to post between an hour to 30 minutes of that peak time. So your video will already be in there so that when they open up the app, it may show it to them. So I believe, everything Charleton said is correct. And there's tools out there that can show you that information. So you just kind of won't be guessing what's the best time. You can actually see it.
Yes, sir. Follow the algorithm. So every platform has that, pretty much, that tells you what time to post, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
YouTube definitely does. YouTube Studio. I mean, I'm sure you know that, Brian, because you post to it. But you go to the YouTube Studio and then the audience tab, and it's got those indicators that show what time of the week or what times of the day your audience is typically online. So mine is all skewed to the weekend. So, but
Yeah.
So it's just like you just have to use it to your advantage. One thing I will also say, I don't know why this kind of just popped in my head. I noticed that when I was going live on YouTube, that if I post something like to YouTube and set it to premiere versus going live, the stuff that I set to premiere got pushed better by YouTube versus the live
Versus
stuff.
the live? Really?
Yeah, so I noticed that pre-recorded content on YouTube for whatever reason got pushed better than live stuff. I don't know why. I don't know what the strategy was with that. So, so that's
you do yours. You do your content now though as premieres, right?
I do pre-recorded, but like I said, there was a point in time when I was going live on Sundays,
Right.
and I would have a pre-recorded video of the same lesson in addition to the live, and that the live videos, even though they were going at the same time, weren't getting the same traction. I don't know what that is, and I've had other people say the same thing to me. Say they experience the same thing. Like, yeah. Because like there's some Sunday school teachers that will go live on Monday and record themselves teaching the lesson to an online audience, and they won't get the level of push from YouTube versus if they just pre-record them and then uploading it. I don't know what that is.
You know what? I have heard that as well. Now that you mention it, like I don't know what it is about. Maybe because if it's pre-recorded and you do a premiere, maybe it's sending some type of data to the algorithm early on and getting that into the system to push it to other people versus, kind of when you do it live, it's just, it doesn't have that much time or information about your video. So that may be a reason. I'm not sure. Brian, we might need to do some pre-recorded as well.
Yeah. We should, and I also,
we can do that.
I also have experienced that you want to give at least 2 hours on pre-recorded videos before they go live. Like you don't want to just upload it and then it goes live in 20 minutes. Like what Jeremy just said, you want to give the algorithm time to notify your audience and to find your audience, so that, again, like we said, that first 24 hours is very critical. So you want the algorithm to notify your audience and let them know. That's why I always say, like, it's very ideal to like pre-record and then actually chop up shorts and release the shorts first and point it to your long content that's gonna premiere in like a week or something like that, and that way you have a really big audience for that premiere. That's really the best way. But you know,
Yeah, I like that. That's like kind of like a teaser or a
Hmm.
trailer of what you're gonna post
yeah,
later. That's a good idea.
yeah.
Great nuggets, gentlemen. Great nuggets. Well, listen. Any final thoughts on consistency, inconsistency?
I have a question for the host.
Yeah, let's do it.
I have another content creator friend of mine that was saying this week that he had kind of dialed back his content creation because he wasn't getting the results that he wanted, and it kind of was demoralizing for him. He was just like, I just
Mm.
couldn't feel like it could just keep showing up, and I just wasn't getting the views that I want. And so my question to you is, have you ever experienced that? And if you have, like, what are your thoughts on it? Or just what's your strategy for pushing past not getting the numbers or the metrics that you feel like you
Oh
desire?
man, good question. So yeah, of course, I would say yeah. I've definitely felt that with videos because with a lot of videos, you put your heart and soul into these videos, and like Jeremy stated with editing, and I come from, of course, video editing background, so it's like you want everything to be perfect. You want the sound effect to go off immediately when this item triggers or all of that. And so you would think, man, that's a great video, and you put it out there and you only get a few views. So it can be demoralizing um, to get that. But I would say that I think, as we stated in this conversation, I think it really takes, trying to find out, first of all, making sure you're talking, I would say talking to, your target audience, putting things in perspective and not going into this with maybe the wrong perspective, which I can't say that that's him. Maybe he's got the wrong perspective, but I know a lot of creators jump into this and they get the wrong perspective, and they think that because they are passionate, they have maybe a great niche that they're talking about, and things they just don't pan out as they should. But that's where it's like it takes a whole lot of looking at the whole picture, right? Just like we talked about algorithm, you got to look at the algorithm. What is the algorithm saying? Where does the audience fall off? Maybe you need a better hook. Maybe 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 you need to maybe not be so broad. Maybe you need to just speak to shrink your target audience. Maybe it's too broad what you're doing. So I don't know, but I think a lot that's a common thing. A lot of creators run into that, where they feel demoralized, or things aren't taking off like they're. Also, to comparison, we can't compare ourselves to others, and and look at how somebody else is taking off, and man, I'm talking about the same things. Why is mine not taking off? So it's a lot of different factors. I think you just have to try to be the best you can be, best person you can be, and show up as yourself. If you know that what you're talking about, regardless to who watches, right? If you're passionate about what you're talking about, like let's say you like to talk about puppies, right? Well, I like dogs. If I'm passionate about dogs, I don't care who's watching it. I don't care.
Right.
I'm just going to continue to talk about dogs because I like to talk about dogs, whether there's 5 viewers, whether there's 1 viewer, or whether there's 200 viewers. I like to talk about dogs. And if I could just help that one person, one person, hey, I'm good. I don't know if y'all saw the live that I did with the Barbecue Brothers, but I forgot about it. But Donald Coleman mentioned in the video, I asked him, like, how did y'all get started? I forgot about this, but he mentions in the video, he says, hey man, well, I just, I started going out to eat. I got a camera, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna start recording some things. And one day they posted something, a comment, or they posted a video about some barbecue, and I saw it, and I said, hey, y'all should start a YouTube channel. And he mentions that in the live, that, hey, you know what, you're the one that kind of encouraged us to get started. And I forgot. I was like, really, me? But that made me feel good about what I do, right? Because I help one person to continue to do whatever they do, right? So, you got to kind of look at what is your goal, because there's more to this than just creating content. That's this right here, what we're doing, coming together and talking. Maybe that's something that he could do, right? Get together with some other creators, and like you said before, Charleton, in one of our videos, find your community. And so there's a lot more to this than just creating content. That's like, hey, you know what? I like to go and show up on other people's platform and just be in the comments. Hey, I like what you talked about, or just comment on it, because that gets you exposed to other people. So it's a lot to it, but I don't know. I digress.
That was my final thought. I just wanted to ask you a question, man.
Okay. This is your final thoughts. Mr. Reece, you have any final thoughts? Let's see. We got some comments in the chat. You can go ahead. I'm gonna get to some of these comments in the chat. But yeah, any final thoughts?
I would say the biggest mistake people make is quitting right before their content starts improving.
Yeah.
Because consistency gives you experience, and experience is going to allow you to create better content. So, people might say, well, I'm not viral yet. I've made 30 videos. Nothing is viral. But one question you can ask yourself is, am I better than I was 30 videos ago? You'll be able to look back over your progress, because I can definitely look back at my early videos and be like, wow, like I can't believe I put that out there like that. But that's where you start, right?
Yeah.
And as you remain consistent, you'll get better. And one thing you can also look at, let's say you knew, because all it takes is one video,
That's it.
couple of videos, whatever, that really takes off. And that's going to bring in the community that Charleton was talking about, that's going to follow you and, be your supporters and, kind of encourage you to keep going. Let's say you knew, okay, I'm going to blow up. Like, this is something you knew beforehand at video number 247. Would you still quit at video 40?
Right.
I don't think you would. You would be like, I know that at video number 247, even though I'm on number 40, if I could just keep and hang in there, it's coming. And that's the only reason why people quit right now, because they don't know which video is going to be that one for them that's going to take off, so they quit. So I just say you keep posting, you keep being consistent until you find that one video that's going to resonate with your audience. I follow a lot of people and I get like different advice from people. That's one thing that's going to help you. Look for creators to coach you and teach you what to do. And there was a creator I recently started following because I created another channel on Instagram, which is basically like commentary, yapping, talking reels, where I don't have to necessarily have, DVM with me for the comedy. This is something that I can speak about certain topics, things going on in the world, just kind of talk to people and build a community that way. So somebody came up in my feed and he was just giving these tips like, this is how I started to blow up. Like, I kept at it, and is that one video that resonated and got all these people. Now I don't got like, I've got like 2,000 followers off this one video. I've got 15,000 followers off this one video. Like, it's going to happen. Even for me on Facebook, I didn't expect that like video to hit 4 million. It was a repost. The first time I posted it, it didn't do as well. But the second time, it got over 4 million views. And I want to say almost 3,000 followers to my Facebook page. So you just never know which video is going to hit and go viral. So that's one thing you should keep in mind when you're trying to stay consistent and not feel demoralized as if you're going to quit. Like, all it takes is one video and keep going until you do it.
Yeah, agree. I think what was that Brock said? They asked him that question. That person felt like quitting. He said, "Have you posted?" I forget the number he puts out there. He said they probably haven't posted. What was it? 1,000? How many posts did he say?
I think he said like 200 or something.
200. Yeah. So yeah, it takes some time, but I think he also said in that, are you just still posting the same thing? Like, are you critiquing what you're doing? You know, or are you making improvements to what you're doing? So all of that matters. You know, if you're posting the same thing, and if you notice that you're not getting any traction off the posting the same thing, you know, maybe you got to tweak it. Maybe you got to.
And then I would say also don't be afraid to ask somebody else to critique your video. Like you may think in your mind like it's the best video ever. I'm doing everything right. You know, if you think back on American Idol, they really thought they could sing when they came on the show. They were convinced in their mind I can sing, and we know the judges would tell them like, no, like pretty much you're not that good. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to get constructive criticism on your video. Say, hey, I've been making, these videos. I think I'm getting better. I think it's okay. Like, what's your thoughts? And let somebody who, loves you and is going to be able to give it to you in love. And, it's not coming from a place to like bring you down. They're just speaking the honest truth and they're really wanting you to see it so that you can grow. Like I would say, get somebody like that to give you some feedback on your videos to let you know how well you're doing.
Yes, sir. Good stuff, man. All true, all facts. Listen, this has been great. I've enjoyed it.
It's been good. Yeah.
Good stuff. I mean, this is definitely a topic I think creators deal with. I know they deal with it. I mean, I deal with it. This is one of the things that I'm working on to get better, but I'm sure at some point all of us have dealt with this, trying to get more consistent, and we're still working on it. So we hope this conversation has been helpful for those that were able to watch. I want to thank those who were here and able to watch. Here, let's see. Where is that at? That's Tasha saying, great response, host. And she says, thank you, guys. Holy Girl says, hello, gentlemen. Hello, Holy Girl, 25. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
Let's see. Tasha says, I think if you like or love what you are doing, it won't matter. I think she was talking about that question. Yeah, I agree with that. It won't matter. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Tasha says, and their families were not being honest with them. Good post, Jeremy. I'm trying to remember what was she talking about. She says, and their families were not being honest. I guess it was something that you was talking about, Jeremy. Good points, Jeremy. Good points, Jeremy. That's what I'll say to that. All right. Well, listen.
Maybe she's speaking to the fact like sometimes you can ask somebody and they say,
"Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
I think she
you're
was talking
doing
about
good."
probably about the was that like American Idol where they feel like they can sing and they really can't and their family is lying to them.
Yeah.
It's like you knew before they even went there. Y'all should have told them don't go because they cannot sing. Well, listen, this has been great. I want to thank you, gentlemen, again for being here and just adding your gems and all of your information and just sharing your content. Of course, we want to share them. If you're not following these guys, I want you to follow them. Of course, the Jeremy and Devion Show. They are there on YouTube. Jeremy, of course, I think you stated you got another YouTube page as well. Oh, not YouTube, Instagram. I think it's Jay Reece where you do the yapping and the commentary.
Yes, sir. Just Jay Reece.
Jay Reece. Yes, sir. And, of course, we got Just Teach Ministries. Of course, you can find them on YouTube and need Sunday school help or some instructions, some guidance. Of course, Mr. Charleton got you covered. Well, listen, this has been fun, gentlemen. This has been good. And thank y'all. Appreciate y'all being here. Always.
Sure.
Simon Cowell. You saw that comment about
Let's see. What's she
American
saying?
Idol.
Tamika says, Simon Cowell told Tori Kelly she couldn't sing, and now she can.
We're going to a concert this weekend, and Tori Kelly's singing at the concert. So
Simon says she can't sing. Okay.
She's front of mind. No, Tori Kelly can blow. Yeah.
What was Simon talking about? Simon don't get it right all the time. So what does that tell you?
She was on American Idol, like season 10 or something like that. Season 9 or something. Yeah. And, Simon Cowell gets it wrong all the time. So.
He does. Let's see.
Maybe Randy had to tell him, no, dog, she can sing.
So Sam Cowell told Tori she could sing at 16, and by age 22, she won a Grammy. Look at her. See, that means,
Wow.
hey, that tells you, even if somebody says no, that don't mean you quit. Don't mean you give up.
Yeah.
Got to keep going.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's very true.
I mean, Jennifer Hudson, she didn't win it. She was on there, but she didn't win it. But we know she can blow. She even has the Oscar. So
Yeah, she's got a lot going on.
she's
her own
got,
TV show now.
yeah, she's got a lot. So yeah, Simon don't get it right all the time, and everybody don't get it right all the time. So one no won't stop you. Like they say, one monkey won't stop one show. So
Any thoughts for what we might talk about next time, so we can tell the audience?
well,
what to
listen.
anticipate?
Of course, next month, yes, August. I want to try to get the ladies on, so we're gonna have to try to work that out. Figure out a topic we can talk about. I don't have a specific topic that we'll drill into, but we'll get together, figure out what we're gonna talk about. But I definitely want to get the lady creators on just to get their points of view, because we know women, they have a different process and how they process things, which is not a bad thing, but it's different. But I'm, it's a good thing. But I'm sure they can speak to, of course, to other women and help them as well. So we're gonna work on getting them on here. And
Excited.
yeah, yes. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank those who've liked this video and who've been here. All the comments, all of that has been great. We're gonna call it a wrap, but we'll see you all next month and for Creators Talk. So Jeremy and Charleton, thank y'all, and we'll see you all in the next one.